Welcome to a soothing journey to dreamland with our bedtime story video, accompanied by the serene sounds of nature, guiding you to a peaceful sleep. Tonight, we present a special bedtime tale titled The Midnight Cafe. As the clock struck midnight, the neon sign of the Midnight Cafe flickered to life, casting a warm glow on the cobblestone street. Inside, the air was filled with the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the soft hum of conversations. Sarah, having experienced the cafe's unique charm, found herself drawn back, eager to uncover more of its mysteries. Tonight, the cafe seemed different, more vibrant. The walls, adorned with paintings that seemed to shift in the dim light, whispered stories of their own. Sarah noticed a new painting, a serene landscape that seemed to beckon her into its depths. She couldn't shake off the feeling that the cafe was not just a place, but a living, breathing entity, aware of its occupants. The patrons tonight were a mix of regulars and new faces, each with their own story. At a corner table, a young man scribbled furiously in a notebook, his eyes alight with inspiration. Nearby, an elderly couple held hands, their eyes reflecting a love that had weathered many storms. Sarah realized that the cafe was not just a refuge for the lost, but also a sanctuary for those seeking connection and understanding. The barista, a kindly man with an ever-present smile, approached Sarah. "Looking for something special tonight?" he asked. Sarah, feeling adventurous, nodded. "Then I have just the thing," he said, and went off to prepare a drink she hadn't seen on the menu. As she waited, Sarah's gaze wandered to a lone figure by the window, a woman staring out into the night with a look of longing. Something about her seemed familiar, and Sarah felt a pull towards her, a sense of kinship with a stranger. When the barista returned, he placed before Sarah a steaming cup of something that smelled like a blend of spices and dreams. "It's called the Second Chance," he explained. "It's for those who are looking for a new beginning, no matter where they come from or what they've been through." As Sarah sipped the mysterious brew, the warmth spread through her, igniting a spark of hope. She realized that the Midnight Cafe was more than just a place for dreamers and the lost. It was a crossroads of fate, where paths intersected and new journeys began. Feeling emboldened, Sarah rose from her seat and approached the woman by the window. "Is this seat taken?" she asked with a smile. The woman looked up, surprised, then smiled back. "No, it's not. Please, join me." And so, Sarah found herself sharing stories with a stranger, discovering that they shared more than just a love for the cafe. They were both seekers, looking for answers, for closure, and perhaps for a new friend. As the night deepened, the Midnight Cafe buzzed with life, a testament to the magic that happens when people open their hearts to the unknown. And for Sarah, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with possibilities and the promise of second chances. Under the soft glow of the cafe's lights, Sarah and the woman, who introduced herself as Mia, delved into tales of their pasts, each word weaving a bond of understanding between them. The Midnight Cafe, with its ever-present aura of mystery, seemed to encourage their revelations, as if the walls themselves were listening and urging them on. Outside, the night carried on, indifferent to the transformations occurring within. Sarah noticed that the cafe seemed to exist in a bubble of time, unaffected by the world outside its doors. The hours slipped by unnoticed, as conversations flowed from dreams unfulfilled to hopes reborn. Mia, with a hint of hesitance in her voice, shared her story of lost chances and the search for redemption. She spoke of a life that had taken unexpected turns, leading her to the cafe's doorstep, where she hoped to find the courage to start anew. Sarah listened, her heart echoing Mia's longing for a fresh start. As their stories unfolded, the barista moved silently among the tables, his presence a comforting constant in the ever-changing tapestry of the cafe's clientele. He seemed to have an uncanny ability to appear exactly when needed, offering a refill or a kind word, adding to the cafe's allure. The clock neared the witching hour, and the cafe's atmosphere thickened with anticipation. It was as if the night itself was holding its breath, waiting for something momentous to occur. Sarah and Mia felt it too, a sense of impending revelation that drew them closer. In a quiet corner, a man with tired eyes and a gentle demeanor began to play a guitar, his fingers coaxing melodies of haunting beauty from the strings. The music filled the cafe, wrapping around the patrons like a warm embrace. It was a song of endings and beginnings, of lost paths and found destinies. Sarah and Mia found themselves standing, drawn to the music as if by an unseen force. They were not alone. Others in the cafe, moved by the melody, gathered around the musician, forming a circle of shared humanity. In that moment, the cafe transcended its physical boundaries, becoming a place of unity and healing. The song ended, leaving behind a silence that was both profound and comforting. The patrons, touched by the experience, remained still for a moment, savoring the connection they had shared. Then, as if by unspoken agreement, they began to disperse, each carrying a piece of the night's magic with them. Sarah and Mia, their bond strengthened by the night's events, exchanged numbers, promising to return to the cafe, to this sanctuary of the soul. As Sarah stepped out into the cool night air, she realized that the Midnight Cafe had given her more than just a place to escape the world. It had given her a glimpse into the depths of her own heart, and in doing so, had shown her the way forward. The cafe, with its promise of second chances, had become a beacon of hope, not just for her, but for all who sought refuge within its walls. And as she walked away, Sarah knew that she would carry the spirit of the Midnight Cafe with her, a reminder that even in the darkest hours, there is a place where dreams can find new life. In the days that followed, Sarah's life began to take on a new rhythm, marked by her nightly visits to the Midnight Cafe. Each visit was like peeling back another layer of a long-hidden secret, revealing truths about herself and the world around her that she had never dared to acknowledge. The cafe, with its eclectic mix of patrons, became a canvas on which the stories of the dreamers, the lost, and those seeking second chances were delicately painted. Sarah found herself drawn into the lives of others, her own story intertwining with theirs in the most unexpected ways. One night, as the cafe hummed with the quiet energy of shared solitude, a new figure stepped through the door. He was a man of an indeterminate age, carrying a presence that seemed to command the room without a word. His eyes, deep and knowing, scanned the cafe until they landed on Sarah. Approaching her table, He introduced himself as Jonah, a traveler of sorts. His voice carried the weight of someone who had seen much, yet found solace in the simplicity of a midnight cafe. Jonah spoke of his journeys, of places where time stood still, and moments where the essence of life was captured in a single breath. Sarah listened, captivated by the tapestry of experiences Jonah laid before her. It was a reminder of the vastness of the world beyond the cafe's walls, and yet, how interconnected life's journey was. Jonah's stories, filled with wisdom and a hint of melancholy, resonated with Sarah's own search for meaning. As the night wore on, the cafe seemed to embrace Jonah as one of its own, its magical ambiance wrapping around him like a well-worn cloak. The other patrons, sensing the depth of his tales, gravitated towards their table, eager to share in the exchange of dreams and realities. Jonah, with a storyteller's grace, wove a narrative that bridged worlds, drawing from the collective experiences of those around him. It was a reminder that, within the walls of the Midnight Cafe, everyone was connected by the common thread of humanity, each seeking understanding, acceptance, and a place to belong. Sarah realized that the cafe was not just a haven for those who wandered in the darkness. It was a crucible for transformation, a place where the fragments of one's past could be melded into the foundation of a new beginning. It was here, in this liminal space, that the true magic of the cafe lay. Not in its ability to escape reality, but to confront it, to challenge its visitors to see beyond their fears and doubts. As dawn approached, and the first light of morning began to seep through the curtains, the patrons of the Midnight Cafe prepared to depart, each taking a piece of the night's magic with them. Sarah, feeling a profound sense of gratitude, thanked Jonah for sharing his journey with her. Jonah smiled, a knowing twinkle in his eye. "The Midnight Cafe is a crossroads," he said, "a place where paths converge and diverge in the dance of destiny. Remember, every visit here is a step, on your own journey, a chance to discover not just who you are, but who you might become." With those parting words, Jonah disappeared into the Predawn light, leaving Sarah with a heart full of wonder and a mind buzzing with the possibilities that lay ahead. The Midnight Cafe, she realized, was more than just a place. It was a portal to the infinite landscapes of the soul, a reminder that every ending is but a new beginning in disguise. As the cycle of night and day continued its endless dance, Sarah found herself increasingly anchored to the unique rhythm of the Midnight Cafe. Each visit now felt like a step deeper into a world brimming with possibilities, a place where the ordinary met the extraordinary, at the crossroads of reality and dreams. On an evening that felt like any other yet, promised something different, Sarah entered the cafe to find it buzzing with an unusual energy. The air was charged with anticipation, as if the cafe itself was waiting for an event of significance to unfold. Tonight, the patrons seemed to be more diverse than ever. Among the familiar faces, there were those who carried tales from lands far beyond the city's limits, their voices mingling in a symphony of languages and laughter. It was a testament to the cafe's magnetic pull, its ability to draw souls from all corners of the globe, each seeking solace, inspiration, or simply the warmth of human connection. As Sarah settled into her favorite nook, her attention was drawn to a small group gathered around a table laden with maps and open journals. Their conversation was fervent, filled with references to distant places and plans for journeys yet to be undertaken. Curiosity piqued, Sarah approached, introduced herself, and was immediately welcomed into the fold. The group, it turned out, was a band of explorers in the truest sense. Individuals who had traversed the globe in search of the unknown. They spoke of hidden valleys, ancient ruins, and cities that time had forgotten, their stories painting vivid pictures of a world vast and wondrous. As the night deepened, the explorers shared not just their tales of adventure, but also the lessons they had learned along the way. They talked of the importance of resilience, the beauty of diversity, and the power of empathy. These were not just travelers in the physical world, but also voyagers of the spirit, seeking to understand the tapestry of human existence. Sarah, mesmerized by the depth of their experiences, felt a stirring within her. Here, in the heart of the Midnight Cafe, she was being offered a glimpse into a life beyond the confines of her own. The explorers' stories ignited a spark of wanderlust, a desire to explore not just the world, but the landscapes of her own being. The moment was a revelation, a breaking down of the walls she had built around her dreams. Sarah realized that the cafe, with its endless parade of dreamers and adventurers, was not just a place to escape the night, but a launch pad for the soul's journey. It was here, among the dreamers, the lost, and those seeking second chances, that she found the courage to envision a path of her own. As dawn approached, and the cafe began to quiet, the explorers extended an invitation to Sarah, and offered to join them on their next journey. It was a chance to step beyond the stories and become a part of them, to weave her own narrative into the fabric of the world. With a heart full of hope and a spirit ignited by the promise of adventure, Sarah accepted. The decision was more than a commitment to travel. It was a pledge to live fully, to embrace the unknown with open arms, and to seek out the magic that lay just beyond the horizon. The Midnight Cafe, in its infinite wisdom, had once again served as the catalyst for transformation. It had shown Sarah that the journey of life was not just about the destinations, but the connections made along the way, the stories shared, and the dreams kindled in the heart of the night. And as she stepped out into the first light of dawn, Sarah knew that her story was just beginning. A tale of adventure, discovery, and the endless pursuit of dreams made tangible under the watchful eye of the Midnight Cafe. The days that followed were a whirlwind of preparation and anticipation for Sarah. The decision to join the explorers on their journey represented a leap into the unknown, a departure from the familiar paths she had walked for so long. Each visit to the Midnight Cafe now served as a reminder of the impending adventure, the cafe itself becoming a place of transition, where the anticipation of future journeys mingled with the comfort of familiar surroundings. On one such night, as Sarah sat absorbed in maps and guides, the cafe seemed to pulse with a life of its own, its walls echoing with the silent encouragement of 1,000 untold stories. It was as if the very essence of the place was infused with the spirit of adventure, its patrons all seekers in their own right, whether of knowledge, peace, or a fresh start. Among the faces in the cafe that night was a woman whose presence commanded attention, not through ostentation, but through the quiet strength that emanated from her. She approached Sarah, her eyes reflecting a depth of experience that spoke of many journeys, both outward and inward. Introducing herself as Elena, the woman shared her story with Sarah. She spoke of distant lands and cultures, of challenges faced and overcome, of the profound transformations that travel can bring about in the soul. Elena's tales were not just narratives of adventure, but parables of growth, resilience, and the enduring quest for understanding. Their conversation delved into the philosophical, exploring the idea that the journey itself is more important than the destination. Elena emphasized the importance of being present in each moment, of learning from each experience, and of allowing the journey to shape one's identity and purpose. Sarah listened, captivated by Elena's wisdom and the way her words seemed to echo the very lessons the Midnight Cafe had been teaching her all along. It was a moment of profound connection, a realization that her upcoming journey was not just a physical trek across the globe, but a voyage into the depths of her own being. As the night wore on, Elena offered Sarah a gift, a compass, old and worn, yet gleaming with a sense of purpose. "This has been my guide through many journeys," Elena said, placing the compass in Sarah's hand. "It's not just about finding your way geographically, but about discovering your true path in life." Accepting the compass, Sarah felt a surge of gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. The gesture was more than symbolic. It was a passing of the torch, a recognition that Sarah was ready to embark on her own journey of discovery. The cafe, in its timeless embrace, witnessed this exchange, a testament to the countless encounters and transformations that occurred within its walls. It was a place where the past and future converged, where dreams were nurtured and destinies shaped. As Sarah left the cafe that night, compass in hand, she felt a profound connection to the explorers, dreamers, and seekers who had come before her. The Midnight Cafe had become a beacon in her life, a place of magic and possibility, where the journey of self-discovery began. With the dawn of her departure day on the horizon, Sarah knew that her journey would be filled with challenges and wonders alike. But armed with the wisdom and courage she had found in the cafe, she was ready to face whatever lay ahead, to traverse the unknown paths with a heart open to the lessons of the road. The Midnight Cafe had given her more than just a sense of belonging. It had awakened within her the spirit of adventure, a desire to explore not only the world, but the limitless potential of her own soul. And as she stepped forward into her new adventure, Sarah carried with her the essence of the cafe, a reminder that every end is a new beginning, and every journey is a step towards finding oneself. As the day of departure dawned, Sarah found herself standing at the threshold of a new chapter, her heart aflutter with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The world beyond the Midnight Cafe awaited, vast and uncharted, promising a journey that would challenge and change her in ways she could only begin to imagine. With her belongings packed and the compass from Elena securely tucked away, Sarah took a moment to reflect on the journey that had brought her to this point. The Midnight Cafe had been more than just a backdrop to her nights. It had been a guidepost, illuminating the path towards self-discovery and adventure. The lessons learned within its walls, the stories shared, the connections made, had prepared her for the journey ahead. Before stepping out into the morning light, Sarah made one final visit to the cafe. She wanted to say goodbye, not just to a place, but to a chapter of her life that had irrevocably changed her. The cafe, ever the silent observer of the comings and goings of its patrons, seemed to acknowledge her farewell, its warm glow a gentle embrace. As she crossed the threshold for the last time, the barista, who had become a friend and confidant, offered her a parting gift, a small leather-bound journal. "For your journey," he said, his smile both encouraging and wistful. "To capture the moments, the thoughts, and the dreams along the way." Grasping the journal, Sarah felt a surge of gratitude. The cafe and its denizens had given her the courage to embark on this journey, and now they were entrusting her with the task of chronicling her adventures, of weaving her story into the tapestry of the world. Stepping out into the dawn, Sarah felt the weight of her past lift, replaced by the lightness of anticipation. The journey ahead was not just a quest for new sights and experiences. It was a pilgrimage towards understanding, a search for the essence of life itself. As she traveled, Sarah's world expanded in ways she had never imagined. She crossed deserts where the stars filled the sky, visited cities where history whispered from ancient stones, and trekked through jungles where nature spoke in a language all its own. With each step, she grew, her perspectives broadening, her spirit becoming ever more resilient. The compass from Elena guided her not just in direction, but in purpose, reminding her that the true journey was inward, towards the heart of her own dreams and desires. The journal became a repository of her experiences, each entry a reflection of the lessons learned and the beauty encountered along the way. But more than the places she visited, or the sights she saw, it was the people she met who enriched her journey the most. From fellow travelers to local inhabitants, each person she encountered added a thread to the fabric of her story, teaching her about the diversity of the human experience and the universal threads of hope, love, and resilience that bind us all. As her journey came to a close, Sarah realized that the Midnight Cafe had been the beginning of a much larger adventure, one that would continue long after her return. The cafe had opened her eyes to the possibilities that lay beyond the familiar, urging her to seek out the magic that exists in every corner of the world and within every soul she met. Returning home, Sarah carried with her not just memories and experiences, but a new understanding of herself and her place in the world. The Midnight Cafe, with its promise of second chances and new beginnings, had set her on a path of discovery, a journey that would continue to unfold with each new day. In the end, Sarah understood that life itself was a journey, an endless exploration of the vast landscapes of the heart and the world. And the Midnight Cafe, a beacon in the night, would always be there, welcoming the dreamers, the lost, and those seeking second chances, with its doors open wide to the magic of the midnight hour